All right, here we are. And now we're going to roll. This is it. This is what everyone's waiting for. Brad, tell me, where do I find clients and how do I get them? So we're going to dive deep into that today for sure. Deno, welcome. Matt, welcome. Richard, welcome. Morgan, welcome. Tamara, welcome. Denissa, welcome. Jeff is here. Did I say Maria yet? Let me throw this into the group. So everybody just bear with me for a moment. We've got 9 in here already, and I need to put this into the group so that everyone else can see. G'day, mate. Love it. All right, let's live on Facebook. Do you all use Zoom? Do you all know how to go live into Facebook from Zoom? Share in a group. The Coach Launcher group. Next. Here we go. Now we're rolling. All right. All right. It takes some explaining. It's not complicated. I'm going to let you in on a secret right now. This is true. And I'll wait until I get into the Facebook to tell you how to do this stuff. Let's see here. What are we looking for? Yeah, this is called session 04, the natural enrollment method. That's what I call this. NEM, natural enrollment method. It just feels so natural to me. And I'm going to explain it to you, and I'm going to tell you why. All right, going live. Here we go. And then we'll get ready. Lori says, I don't know how to do Zoom. Hey, bro, do you even Zoom? I don't know, that's funny to me. But all right, there we go. All right, now I should be able to see people commenting on Facebook as well. Nick, what's going on? My brother from another mother out on the other coast. Depending on which way you're facing me, Nick, this is where you are in the world. I'm over here and you're over there. Jacob, what's going on, brother? We are going to dive deep. I've been waiting for this, and I'm going to explain it to you. And I'm going to tell you why we waited till day 3 to jump into this, when this is the thing everyone's always out running around asking, how do I find clients? Or where do I find clients? How do I get them? Where do I find clients? How do I get them? I did another training video on this in my group. You may have seen it. We're going to go much, much, much deeper. And from Georgia, so you're right there for me. Because this is Virginia. I'm right here. You're Georgia right down here. You're actually not that far. I've driven to Atlanta several times. Your book will be in on Friday, by the way, and I'm giving away a book today for anyone who's on the Facebook Live or on Zoom, for anyone who interacts, anyone who, and I say this and I'll say this over and over again, this is science, right? This is just a fact. There's so much data on this that the more you interact with any kind of training, any kind of learning, the more you're absolutely going to retain, recall, and the quicker you'll be able to have mastery over it. And that's what we want, doesn't it? So yes, so I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to show you the funnel, then I'm going to pull it down. Can you all hear me? That's probably a question I should ask. I know in Zoom you can. Kyle, you made it. Good talking to you, brother. Jeff says yes. Matt says yes. Richard says yes. Yes, Maria. Thank you. See, this is already so many yeses. I feel so positive. So let me just share with this funnel with you, and then I'm going to pull it down, and we're going to set it up, and I'll walk you through it. All right. Zoom iMac. Here we go. So this is the funnel. I'm going to show it to you in a couple versions. All right, can you all see this? It's the natural enrollment method. And yeah, it is a funnel. And I'm going to break it down for you, and I'm going to explain it to you, and I'm going to answer all of your questions. I've got client calls 7 o'clock tonight, and I want to eat with my daughters. What's the Zoom link? To share with somebody else? Oh, I'll share it with you all. Yep. Hang on. Sorry, I was looking in the wrong place. Invite. There we go. Sending it to you right now, Ann. How long will we go? Lori, depends on how many people have questions. Really, I will get through the main material in probably 40 minutes tops, and then I'll take questions forever. Hey, Monica, how are you doing? Okay, there's that Zoom. If you want to come on to Zoom, you're welcome to. So this is it. This is the funnel. This is the funnel. This is the natural enrollment method, right? So I am now going to pull that off, and I am going to come back. Hello. All right. So we've got plenty here. Let's see. We've got 5. We've got 13 on the Zoom. We've got 5 there. I hear you, Lori, and I will do my best. So we've got plenty. Let's get rolling. This is the question everybody asks, and so I want to do a little bit of review real quickly. This is going to be just a couple minutes. A little bit of review of what we've gone over already, and then why I saved this until halfway through the week, and it's for a really good reason. So thumbs up. All right, thank you. Thumbs up. Another one. Love it. The very first day we talked about mentality, mindset, heart set. Do you have the mettle to do this? The mettle, M-E-T-T-L-E, right? Let me show you what mettle means. Oh, I don't have it right here, unfortunately. Let's look it up right here. I'm going to read you the definition of mettle. M-E-T-T-L-E, not as in like a property, but mettle as in, well, it's a property inside your character. A person's ability to cope well with difficulties or to face a demanding situation in a spirited and resilient way. Let me say that again. Mettle, M-E-T-T-L-E. A person's ability to cope with difficulties or to face a demanding situation in a spirited and resilient way. Do you have the mettle to be a coach and to own and run a coaching business? Are you with me so far? Do you understand why I'm asking that question? So the very first day we talked about some of the mental framing that you have to do. I'm going to do that. We're getting serious right from the get-go. When I take my glasses off, you know I'm totally serious. The very first day we talked about having mindset issues, getting your mental framing structured properly. If you don't believe that you can actually do something, then you won't take the steps that are required to do it. Even if there's steps that are right in front of you, small steps that you can take, if you don't believe ultimately that you can be a full-time coach or that you can actually deliver for a client, that you can help to impact their lives, and if you don't believe that, you won't do the things that are required to actually do it. And you won't do the things that are required that you actually can do. And as you take a step and a step and a step and a step, you realize, oh, now I can do that thing that I couldn't have done a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, but I can do it now because I've been implementing, I've been taking action. And from the get-go, I launched my vision to believe that I can do this. Does this make sense to you? That's why we started with that. People hate it. People are like, I don't want to talk about mindset. My mindset is great. I hear that so often. My mindset's great. My mindset's great. And then I get questions like, why can't I find any clients? Well, it's a mindset thing. Or I get questions like, the clients I find don't have any money, but that's not true. That's not true. I used to work in the nonprofit world. I know that people have money. It's just, what are they choosing to spend it on? Right? What are they choosing to spend it on? So that's why we talked about mindset. We also talked about you. You are the biggest difference. You are the biggest difference. It doesn't matter what your website looks like as much as it doesn't matter what your program is, how you structure it, how you price it. No one cares about your certifications. You are what makes the difference. When I'm on a call with an executive that's literally shaping the direction of nations, I am the difference maker. Not my program, not my techniques, not my skills, my heart, my resiliency, my mettle, and my confidence that no matter what comes up, no matter what this person's dealing with, I can help them find a solution. It's a mantra of mine. There are 1,000 solutions for any given problem, no matter the size of the problem. I used to say that to myself every day. I don't have to say it anymore. It's just ingrained. It's the neural network pathways run now. I wake up and I think, yeah, there's a solution. There's 1,000 of them for any given problem. If you don't believe that, you're going to have a problem. So get your mental framing straight. Go back to the statements that you need to go to, affirmations, declarations, mantras, whatever you want to call them, okay? Every day you have to wake up and decide that you're going to grow today. Because if you don't grow, you will atrophy, just like our bodies do as we get older. So, and then we talked about the power of questions, okay? What questions are you asking, right? This is really going to come into play today because a big part of this natural enrollment method is your ability to ask people really good questions. Because when you ask them really good questions, it demonstrates that you care. It demonstrates you've done the work to already get inside their head and their heart. It demonstrates that you are a leader and you can lead them. Are you with me? Are you still with me? Let me know if this is making sense. If you're in the Facebook group, hearts and likes or wows, or if you do tears or an angry face, that's okay too. I'm just wondering what's wrong. There's a bunch of coaches here. We care. If you send us tears, we'll probably reach out and be like, are you okay? Are you okay? Okay, so this is what we started with. Then yesterday we went into niche and messaging. Picking your niche. And here's the biggest takeaway I could give you yesterday. I'm going to give you the second biggest giveaway, the takeaway. The second biggest takeaway is that you don't have to marry your niche. You can just date your niche, right? If you waited to meet the perfect person and you just wanted to marry them without dating them, you'll be alone for the rest of your life. You know, if you don't believe in marriage, just as I'm using it as an analogy, so it's okay, don't get bent out of shape, right? Date a niche, try it out. I was doing executive Fortune 100 coaching, but because I was open, at first I wasn't. I explained that yesterday. People would ask me, hey, will you help me launch my coaching business? I'd be like, I don't do that. I'm an executive coach. But then as I began to open my mind, as I was like, you know what? I can play around with this. If I can help somebody, then I can do it. And a friend convinced me and I did it. It was that openness that led me to doing this, which I love this. I love working with new coaches. I love helping new coaches. Does that make sense? Are you still with me? I'm going to ask you to check in all the time. Yes, Jeff says yes. Awesome. So here's why. The biggest takeaway about niche, that was the second. The biggest takeaway is the reason why we niche is so that we can get inside the head and inside the heart of our potential client. We talked about that Venn diagram, you know, like you want to be able to get inside their head. You want to be able to get inside their heart. What's keeping them up at night? What are they daydreaming about when they stare out the window at work? What do they talk to their loved ones about? What do they complain about? You know, what are they afraid of? What is the number one pressing problem that is crushing their soul right now? What are the mistakes they are making? We talked about that. Now, why are we talking about all that before we talk about this? Because when I just come out and explain this as clearly as I'm going to come out and explain it to you, there is a percentage of people who say, oh, that makes so much sense. And then there's a percentage of people that say, oh, that'll never work. I'm going to draw it out for you. I just showed you that natural enrollment method, the funnel. And some of you are going to be like, makes total sense. And some of you are going to be like, you're going to say one of two things. That'll never work. Or you'll say, that'll never work for me. That's okay. My job isn't to convince you this will work. That's not my job. I can't do that. I can't go around convincing people of those kind of things. My job is to make things clear for you. And then if you have the courage and the ability to have a growth mindset and just make yourself a little open to ask the question, could that work for me? What if that worked for me? I got to between $5,000 and $15,000 a month consistently, regularly doing this. This is how I became a full-time coach, doing what I'm about to show you right now. And I'm going to draw a couple diagrams for you so that I don't want anyone to walk away and be like, well, Brad didn't really share everything with us. I want to share it all with you. In fact, if you'd like to see it all, say, I want to see it all. We'll do it. I'm going to do it anyways, but I just want you to interact with me. All right. So that's why if you don't get your mindset and your mental framing straight, what I show you won't matter, because you'll be like, that's for somebody else. That's for somebody else. This can work for you. There's some mindset issues you'll have to get around. I mean, a large part of what I do with clients is mindset. And then I teach them nuance. I could never teach you all there is to know about this in this session. When I bring on clients and enroll them, I work with them for at least 3 months teaching them this. And they begin signing on clients within a few weeks if they do the work. All right. So this doesn't work if you don't get inside the head and the heart of your potential client. Number one. This won't work if you don't get inside the head and the heart of your potential client. Number two, this won't work if you don't believe it'll work. So, save yourself some time. Get some donuts, grab a beer, sit down, watch Netflix. Okay? If you think there's a chance, then stick around and I'll show it to you. Number three, you have to do it all at the same time. I'm going to show you. So here we go. Are you ready? Deno says, well, don't keep us hanging. I think you meant to say, well, don't keep us hanging, mate. All right. Are you ready? Let's do it. All right. Let me share this, and I'm going to walk you through. People say to me, I run ads. I run ads to a webinar. On that webinar, I try to give away as much as I've been giving away today, right? It's a 45-minute webinar. I can't go over everything, but inevitably I get people who make comments like, well, where do you find these clients to engage with them? Certainly you don't just find them in the street or out in the public, and they're being cute, and that's fine. Why is that not doing it? There we go. Sorry, folks. I'll get back to my story. All right. But here's the reality. I do find clients out in the street. I find clients in Ubers. I find clients at a coffee shop. I find clients at church. I find clients knock on my door. I had a guy try to sell me Xfinity, and we started talking, and instead of just shutting him out and shutting him off, I opened the door. I was like, listen, I've got Fios, I've got Gig, He's like, why do you have so much? I'm like, I run my business. He goes, what kind of business do you run? It's like, I'm a coach and a consultant. Excuse me. Sorry. 1 second. Hydrate to be great. I said, I'm a coach and a consultant. He pulls out a card. He goes, I'm a brand new coach. Come on. I literally have potential clients knocking on my door. And if you don't, it is decaf in that cup, Kyle. If you don't think that potential clients are everywhere, I'm going to use some harsh language here. If you don't think potential clients are everywhere, you're being idiotic. They are everywhere. Yes, you will find them walking on the street. The question is, how do you have a conversation with them, right? You know there are clients everywhere, potential clients everywhere. So this is, here we go. Going to show you. Who's with me? Who's ready? Look, I'm not a perfectionist, but if I can't get some good looking lines, I'm going to start over. Okay. Boom, boom. Okay. Can you see that? Ann says, born ready. I love your attitude, Ann. All right. Do you all see that? It should be showing up in the Facebook group. I got lag right now, but this is the funnel. It's the natural enrollment method. In fact, let's do this. Let's do it like that. I love that color. Let's do this. Boom. It's natural. You know what else? If it's natural, just draw a little tree. Are you with me? Let me know if you're with me. This is it, okay? So let's start with basics, okay? Some of you may have never heard of a funnel. Some of you may have. It's not a fancy word. This looks like a funnel. Like if you put this over your oil cap and then poured oil into it, the oil would all run down into your engine, okay? So if you put this over your salt shaker and poured salt into it, it would all go into your salt shaker. Does that make sense? Good. So this is the world. I'd rather it doesn't really look like the world. No, give me a moment. And I'll make it look a little bit like the world. All right. This is what it's going to look like for right now. Who's with me so far? You see what I'm seeing here? What? We're going to put people in this world. People are all over this world, right? There's somebody hanging out at the North Pole, right? Someone in North America. Somebody over here in Eurasia. Somebody over here in Europe. And then all over the place, okay? You see my people? Deno, yeah, that's you on top of the world, brother. The person's head looks like it got chopped off by the horizon, but it didn't. All right, now, there are people all over the world. You'll see this world goes outside of this natural enrollment method funnel because there are going to be some people, put them right here, that just won't ever resonate with you. You can't help them, right? There's just some people you can't help. And that's okay because there's so many people on the planet. Somebody type in the number of the amount of people on the planet today. All right. So that's the world. Boom. Thank you, Maria. And the question comes, where do I find clients and how do I get them? I've explained this before, but I'm going to just explain it again. This is the wrong question. Where do I find clients and how do I get them? Sounds like a fishing trip. Where do I find a good fishing hole? Where do I find the fish? I've heard marketers explain funnels like fishing. You gotta go find fish, and then you gotta have the right bait, the right lure, and then you gotta cast it in the right spot, and then you gotta do the right things with the bait and the lure to get someone to bite on, and then you gotta pull them out, right? The only problem that I have with this, and it's a big one, is you're treating people like fish. And when you catch a fish, right, you either throw it back, you eat it, or you mount it on your wall. It's a terrible way to look at clients, in my opinion. Now, I get it, but the language we use is important. So I don't look at enrolling clients and helping people that way. Okay? I look at it this way. It's very natural, and as soon as it feels unnatural, you're probably doing it wrong. Are you with me so far? Who wants to be a cannibal? I asked that the other day. So, how do you find people? Well, I started with gatherings. Now, don't lose your mind. I'm going to take this digitally, but right now I'm just going to give you a broad overview, okay? Who's with me? Say you're with me. Don't see a whole lot of chatter right now. With me. Natural, got it. Awesome, Nick. I need to get the natural part. Dano says, with you. Ashley says, that's a good looking earth. Thank you so much. Maria, you. I love it, right? Tamara says, I'm with you. Monica says, with you. Okay, all right, cool. So this is where I start. I start with gatherings of people. Because in these gatherings, this isn't all the people in the world, but there's a bunch of people and they're congregated around probably a mutual interest, right? This could be church. This could be a coffee shop. This could be a conference, right? This could be a bike club. This could be a sailing club. This could be a concert, okay? But this is where people gather together. And that's how you get closer to people in the world and interact with them. You can do this physically or you can do this digitally. But do you understand what I'm saying? You've got to get into a gathering of like-minded people somewhere. Step number one. Okay? Then the next thing we need to focus on is you. You. Because you are what? You are the biggest what? You're the biggest difference. You are the biggest difference. Not your program, not what you do, not your certifications, not your PhD. What's going on in here and up here, and how well do you relate to other people? You. Okay? You are the biggest difference. Again, in a few minutes, I'm going to break this down crystal clear of how you actually can put this, but just stay at the 30,000 foot view with me. Okay, don't get lost in the granular right now. Now, when you go to these gatherings, not everybody is going to like you, but there will be some that as you demonstrate who you are in that gathering, that are going to be interested in you. And when they get around you, they're going to see that you are different. You are going to be able to demonstrate that you are different. Let's say I go to a conference and I'm around all these people, right? But then let's say I'm a panelist in one of the side rooms, one of the breakout sessions. I'm a panelist and I demonstrate because I know what's going on inside the heart and the head. The heart and the head and the heart of my potential clients. So I demonstrate that. I speak to them in their language. I let them know that I get you, that I understand you, and these are the mistakes you're making, and this is how you can solve some of those problems. Then they are super interested in me because they know that I get them. And the first question they ask themselves, as soon as it dawns on them that I get them, is, I wonder if he can help me. Does that make sense so far? Yes? No? Yes? No? Then you're going to get into conversations with people. You will converse with them, and you're going to ask them questions. This is where everybody gets it wrong. But some of those people are going to see you, maybe that you're at let's use the conference analogy. They go and they see that you have demonstrated in your little breakout session that you get them. They start wondering, could this person help? You've been to a conference before where you're like, yeah, I want to talk to that person. That person gets me. Like, I wish I had a few minutes. And you're going to give them a few minutes. Why? Because you care. We're going to get to that in a minute. Right? So then you're going to have fewer people, but people nonetheless, that you're going to start conversing with. And you're going to ask them really good questions. We'll get into those things. Pardon me. My throat's getting dry from all this talking the last couple of days. Right? So that's going to happen. See how they're slowly working down your funnel. Don't like that arrow. They're slowly working down your funnel. Okay? And you're conversing. And so you start asking them questions. And as you ask them really good questions, why? Because you've done the niche work. You've got inside their head and inside their heart. And you've had conversations with other people too. You're going to start asking them questions like, well, what do you love about what you do? Or what do you love about your relationship? Let's say it's a relationship conference. Well, what do you love about your relationship conference? It could be a fishing conference, right? It doesn't matter. People resonate with you, right? They resonate. That's what's happening right here. People are resonating because you're a leader and you have a good message and it's about them, right? So you're going to ask really good questions, okay? Because as you do that, you demonstrate your leadership and you build trust. It's so important. You've got to build trust. And you got to mean it. You got to care. You got to actually care. Are you with me so far? Are you still with me so far? All right? That's what's going on at that level of the funnel. Then some people, you're going to ask them enough questions to figure out if you can actually help them and if it's worth having a more private conversation. Instead of having a conversation on the side of the room with 150 other people in it, you're going to say, this probably isn't the time and the place, but I might be able to help you with this. You ask them a bunch of questions about their relationship, like how long have you've been struggling with it, and what have you tried to fix it, and has any of that worked, and what are you doing now, and what do you think the biggest problem is? And then you're going to say, I might be able to help you with that. Let me get your number. Let's set up a call. We'll talk. And if I can help you, I'll let you know. And if I can't, I'll let you know. But you just got to be honest, right? This is natural. Okay? If you just walked into the gathering, right? Watch. This is what some people are doing. It's just gross. And some of you are doing this. And it's gross. You just walk into this gathering, right? You walk into the conference and you start walking up to people and going, I'm a coach. I can help you. Here's a list of what I do in my packages. I'm going to take that thing. I'm going to crumple it up. I'm going to toss it over my shoulder, probably while you're looking at me. Do you hear me? Do you understand? Does that make sense? How creepy that is and how arrogant that is. That person doesn't know you. That person hasn't asked you any questions. That person might not be able to help you at all. And that person has no idea what they're doing in their business. Does this make sense? Type creepy if you think that's creepy. You're right, Jeff. You're right. You're building no trust. You don't even know if you want to help that person. That person might be the biggest a-hole in the world and you would never want them as a client. That person might have so many blocks and issues that it would just not be worth your time. Even if you did care, you can just tell. And we build this process so not just so that you can demonstrate that you can help them, but that they can demonstrate that they can follow your leadership and your coaching. Sups, creep. All right. Then you offer, and some people are going to get on the phone with you, right? Because you're going to have a personal, private conversation. They don't want to talk about their addictions in a room full of people just because you're standing against the wall. They don't want to cry to you about their broken relationship and how their partner of 30 years just left them. You do that on the phone or you do it on a video call. Does that make sense? But some of those people are going to do it, right? That's it. Then when you get on the phone, you do deep dive questions. This percentage is important. I was explaining this to somebody today. You're going to do a deep dive question phone call with people. And there's only 2 things you want to find out. 3, really, but for this, we'll say 2. 1, ask them the questions you need to ask them to find out if you can actually help them. Because if you can't help them, it's immoral and wrong and unethical, and the universe is going to kick your ass for it if you take their money. And at that point, you're taking their money. They're not making an investment. You're taking their money, and it's not right. So ask them the questions to see what's wrong on a deep level and find out, can you help them? 2, is there a greater percentage that they will get results with your help as opposed to without? Those are 2 questions you have to ask before you offer somebody an invitation to enroll in your coaching program. Does that make sense? Because if you can't help them, you shouldn't. And if you can, then you want to know, well, are they better off with you or without you? And if they're better off with you, that just makes sense. Nothing. You ask them that directly, results questions. What do you mean, Lori? But yes, I ask pretty directly. Ask anyone I've been on the phone with. I don't beat about the bush. Number 1 was, can you help them? Number 2 is this right here. What's the percentage that they're better off with you than without you? So nothing's 100%. Nothing in this world is 100%. 0. Right? So if I come across somebody, you ask them really good questions, and you're asking them all kinds of questions, like, what is the problem? And you ask why 3 times a lot, right? We're going to talk about this in great depth tomorrow on the enrollment call, or what's called sales, right? It's not a dirty word. I call it enrollment because so many people have a stigma about the word sales that new coaches are like, I don't want to be salesy. Okay. But if there's 2 movies out, you're going to sell whoever you're with on the one you want to watch. So why? Why and why? The first time you ask somebody why, this is to answer your question and little, and then we're going to get past it because we're going to dive deep. Hey, you might say, hey, why do you think you're having difficulty in your relationship? Oh, well, she just doesn't get me. She doesn't understand me, and I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And okay. Well, why do you think she doesn't understand Oh, well, because, the first why, they're going to tell you the thing that they've rehearsed over and over again, that they've told all their friends about why their relationship isn't working. The second why, they're going to get a little bit closer. They're like, well, I may have, made some decisions and some investments without her knowing about it. And so she got upset and she just doesn't understand that I don't want to work for somebody. And okay, well, why did you do that? Sometimes I just can't get out of my own way. I don't know why, but sometimes I'm just always centered and focused on myself. And I want to stop that because I think that might actually help me. Okay, now you've gotten, and so if you can help somebody change the focus of their relationship and change the focus of their relationship with themselves, then you can help them. Does that make sense? And the percentage, like, can that person, well, maybe that person's got a 10 or 15% chance of figuring this out on their own with you. Even if they have a 60% chance of figuring it out with you, that's totally worth the investment. I would take those odds. I would take that shot. I'd want to push more towards 80 or 90%. Anytime I offer somebody to work with them, I am right around like the 90 to 100% that I can help them, that they're going to get the result. I'm 100% sure I can help them. That 10% is sometimes when people start digging deep, they just freak out and hide and they don't do the work. If someone doesn't do the work, there isn't anything you can do for them. Does that make sense? So, once you determine that you can help them and that there's a better percentage you offer, and then it's up to them to decide. Now, you want to help them. You want to help them figure that out, but we're going to talk about that tomorrow. All right? And this is called enrollment. And here's what happens. You want to know what happens when you enroll somebody in your program? You make an impact in their life, and they make a necessary investment into their own work. You make an impact in their life, and they make a necessary investment into their own work. I've worked nonprofit. I've been a pastor. Let me tell you, when people don't invest, they don't get results. You all are investing time here, right? But my clients are going to get 10 times the results anybody in this free group gets. It's just a fact. Why? One, biggest reason, they're investing in themselves, so they're going to show up. And they're investing in a way that makes them scared. And that's great. It's a great thing. They're investing in a way where they're like, oh my gosh, this is an investment. Good. You want your potential clients to feel that way, because if they're afraid to make that investment, they're not going to do the work when it comes down to it. We're talking about hearts and minds and lives and relationships. And we're talking about like the stuff that my coaches worked with me when I was in third grade. My teacher asked us to draw a poster of what we think would make the world a better place. I drew a pile of money on fire. You don't think that I've had like 30 years of issues and blocks in my relationship with money? Of course I have. You don't think it scared me to death working through those? It was the most uncomfortable work I've done. But I did it because I made the investment and I meant it, right? It's hard work to get to the deep levels with people. Are you with me so far? If this makes sense, say yes. If you're like, oh, Brad, like you've gone off the deep end. I'm passionate about helping people. So sometimes I've been accused of going off the deep end. Are you with me? I just know my clients will get 10 or 100 times better results than anybody who's a new coach in this group just showing up to you can take this stuff. If you put it into practice, you're going to sign clients. That happens. People in this group get their first clients with their new offers because of what we're teaching. And that's awesome. I love it. But if people don't make an investment, they're not in. All right. Now, here's what you need to know. If I turn this funnel on the side, right, the funnel would be shaped like this. In this funnel, you see gravity does the work of moving people through. Now, the actual gravity goes up and down. If you put it on the side, all of it would go here and nothing would go in the funnel. So you'd have to have a vacuum or something right here pulling people through. The gravity that works in this funnel, and it's the only gravity that works, and if you don't think this will work, I mean, if you try to do this without this gravity, this is what matters most. Out of everything that I'm saying, if you don't hear this, you've totally missed the boat, okay? The gravity that pulls people through this funnel and connects them to you so that you can help them long-term. This gravity is caring. You actually freaking care. And all the way through this funnel, you just want to help people have the best for them. Sometimes, because you care, you realize, you know what? I know a coach who would actually do a better job helping this person. So you tell them, hey, I know somebody, I know you want to lose weight. I'm a relationship coach and I know you resonate with me, but you should know, I know a health coach that could help you with your self-image and you will lose the weight and it'll be much better for you to work with them. Sometimes caring means you challenge people up in these places. And you say, that's a mindset issue that you have. And if you don't get it fixed, it isn't going to work. Sometimes caring means when people say, I can't afford it, you say, I don't believe you. You just got done telling me on this phone call that it's costing you everything not to get this fixed, this relationship fixed, that you can't imagine your life without your spouse. And I asked you how much it was worth, and you said it would be worth everything. And now you're telling me you can't pay $1,500 for 3 months. Because you're mean? No. Because you want their money? No. Because you care. And sometimes caring means you push. Sometimes caring means you're silent. Sometimes caring means you put your arm around somebody and you stand in the doorway of transformation and you hold that space for them until they believe in it and they can walk through. And sometimes caring means you kick somebody in the butt and say, why are you hiding? Let's go. Let's do this. I believe in you. Do you understand? Are you with me? Does that make sense? The gravity is caring. All right, got it. Monica says, got it. Lori says, love doorway of transformation. It resonates for me. This is a natural enrollment method. You're having conversations very naturally. You're not running around. This isn't MLM. There's nothing wrong with MLM. I'm not putting down MLM at all. But this isn't that. This isn't running around telling everybody, I'm a coach, I'm a coach. Oh, I just got certified, I just got certified. Who wants to sign up? Who wants a free session? This isn't that. This is so much deeper. This is a natural progression of building relationship, building trust. When by the time you get to the bottom of this funnel, if someone doesn't belong as a client, they won't. And if they do, they will. And you can say, oh, this doesn't work. But you're so wrong. It totally works. It works for me. It's what I teach. It works for my clients. It works for my friends that I've taught it to. It absolutely works, right? Ask Nick Peterson if this works. The guy closed I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, 80 grand in a few days. No ads, no pushing, just serving people and caring for them through his coaching and consulting business. This is how I got to full time, and I still do it. because I care. I'm doing it right now. I am showing up and you aren't paying me, and I am showing you everything I can show you that I have time in a week's time. It's not 3 months, and you're not my clients, but I care. I genuinely care. It's natural. It's natural. Natural enrollment method, where I literally, that's what I call it in my head. So I named it that today. All right. Now, how does this work digitally? Does anyone care, or do you just want to go to question and answers? How do you do this digitally? Do you want to know that, or do you want to do question and answer? Lori says, you're talking about packages tomorrow, $1,500 for 3 months versus hourly rates and number of sessions. Yeah, let's stop doing hourly rates altogether. Let's just kill them. Hourly rates are for therapists, not coaches. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I go to therapy. I believe in it. And I have like 4 different coaches that I pay. Why? Because I'm addicted to growth. It totally works for my life, right? Right now, I have 4 different coaches and a therapist. I'm not a mess. It's probably because I have 4 different coaches and a therapist. But all of my coaches, I pay a package fee. My therapist, I pay hourly. And I literally go sit down in an office and see them. It's just different. It's different work. If you're a therapist, you can be a coach. If you're a coach, you can't just be a therapist. It doesn't work that way. So Lori says, digitally, I'd like to know, Jeff, digitally, and then Q&A. Jeff's like, give me all of it. All right, Jeff. Nick says, digital, please. Go for more works. Do digital. Jose says, digital. Morgan says, digitally. Okay, let's do it. Somebody tell me what platform we're on right now. How did we meet? How are we in this group? Facebook. Yeah, Nick, you and I are on Zoom, but in general, we all met on Facebook, right? Zoom is this tool, but it's not necessarily a platform. Like when this thing closes down, I can't talk to you anymore. So it's a tool. Facebook is the platform, because when I close down this Zoom conference and we put the replay back up, I can still reach out to you on the platform and say, hey, how are the ducks doing? So here's what it looks like. And I'm going to use Facebook. And there are some people right now who are going to be like, I can't believe that my competitors, really, not that I don't actually believe in competition in this way, but so in this instance, we're using Facebook, but you can use this for Twitter. You can use this for Instagram. I do. You can use this with a blog that's kind of slow, and email, right? But this is what I'm going to do now. Don't do this unless you care, and don't do it like a creep. Natural. I'm just going to put it up here so you don't miss it. Enrollment method. Because I'm the method man. All right. So can you use Twitter? You can use Instagram. We're using Facebook. You can use a blog. You can use Slack. Anybody else? Anything else you want to throw out that we could use digitally? You can use your website. That's going to be really slow. You can use YouTube. I'm going to use the one that's free. Excuse me, y'all. I blow my nose. Snapchat. Great. Huge businesses on Snapchat. Any digital. This is the digital world, right? We're just doing Facebook. So what would our gatherings be? And let's make this, because, you know, it's Facebook, let's make it blue. What would our gatherings be? Our gatherings would be in groups where there's just a bunch of people. And there's all kinds of groups, like so many different groups. Okay? So this is how this works. Because, and you can never forget this, because you're caring about the other person and you want what's best, period. Anything else, and I'll kick you out of this group so fast. And plus, you'll just be a dirty person. Sorry, it's true, right? Something else you should notice, that there are steps. Like if you turn this funnel sideways, it's going to look like this. And then there's you at the bottom with your arms open to give somebody a big hug and coach them. All right. So the natural enrollment method, Facebook groups, and you don't go into this is natural, right? So you go into a group and you stand out. And how do you stand out? You stand out by caring and wanting the best for other people. And it doesn't matter what kind of group it is. If you're a relationship coach, you could do this in a boating group or a golfing group or in a gardening group. Okay? Because people are all over the place and they're in all kinds of groups. Make it a group, something you're interested in. I'm in coaching groups. I'm in golfing groups. I'm in car groups. I'm in pastor groups. These are all places where I can actually help somebody. I know something about these things. And so you're going to comment on other people's posts. You're going to reply to other people's comments, not demonstrating. You'll see this if you're in coaching groups. You're in my coaching group, so I assume you're in some other coaching groups. You'll see the DBs that they're always right. They have to demonstrate how right they are all the time. It's disgusting. And I don't want that person for a coach, right? That's not you, because you care, you're caring, you want what's best for the person, so you show up and you just help. If you know the quickest way to change the spark plugs on a Harley Davidson, then you'd be like, hey, here's how you do it. I found this YouTube video for you. Check this out. That might help. And then that person is going to be grateful because you care and you're helping them, right? And so what are they going to do? When you send them a friend request after they say, thank you, this is so helpful, that's awesome, I appreciate this, they're going to send you a friend request, or you're going to send them a friend request. And then they're into you. Now that you've become friends, they're going to see your personal profile. This is where I lose everybody, and that's okay. Not everybody. This is where, if I'm going to lose people, it's going to be here. Oh, but my personal profile is private. This is for my privacy. I've got a business Facebook page. Here's good luck with that. If you know this is how Facebook works. If you have a business page and you want people to interact with you, you have to pay them money. Cash. I've got cash, right? You've got to give them money. Those are called advertisements, or a boost post. Still, you're paying them cash. Tony Robbins, Brendan Burchard, right? Lewis Howes, Marie Forleo. You can follow them, but you're not going to see but 1/10 of their content unless they pay for it. And if they pay for it, you could go to their pages and you'll see a post that has 420,000 likes and 380 shares. And you're like, oh my gosh, they're so great. Like, that meme is so awesome. They're so deep. Well, they are deep people, right? I know them. They're good people, but they paid for that. And then you'll see another post that has like 14 likes out of the 1.2 million followers. And you're like, well, what happened there? It's not that that thing was less impactful. It's that they didn't pay for it, right? That's it. Facebook will never reward you unless you give them money, except for on your personal profile. Are you with me still? Tell me, are you with me still? Because I just started jamming, all right? All right. This is how your personal profile, it's funny because I saw somebody had cut and paste something that said, hey, cut and paste this and you'll see more than 10 people's information, more than 10 people's news feeds. Here's how Facebook works on the personal level. They want interaction. They want conversation. What do we want as coaches? We want interaction, especially with the natural method. We want conversations. So when you start interacting people and adding people and commenting on their stuff and helping them out and adding value to their life, they're going to see your stuff naturally. Facebook algorithm is going to make it happen for you because you care and you want what's best for other people. I have these conversations all the time with people. And when they say, well, how do we do it? Like, tell me how we do it. And I tell them, we're going to use your personal profile page. And they go, I couldn't do that. And in my head, I know I have a choice. Tell them the cold, hard truth, or just let them go, knowing they will never, ever, ever sign more than 3 clients off of Facebook. It's just something you're going to have to, it's a mindset issue. That's all it is. People are like, oh, I love my privacy. I've got 2 adorable daughters. I would never want to ever endanger them, but they're not in danger. If somebody wants your information from Facebook, they're going to get it no matter how you have your privacy settings set. They're going to get it. You don't have privacy. The fact that you're on Facebook, you have no privacy. I'm okay with it. You can have your settings set complete. You don't own the data that's on Facebook and you have 0 privacy if you're part of this platform. You should know that. Mark Zuckerberg just went to Senate to the Hill. And that's what we discovered. Nobody has privacy. Doesn't matter what your settings are. Brad, I don't want my family and my friends to think that I'm just trying to sell. Well, then don't just try to sell. Just try to help people. You're not going to go out and be like, hire me as a coach, hire me as a coach. That's not natural, remember? Natural is caring, doing what's best, and interacting with people. And then a certain amount of people from that group that you add are going to add you, and they're going to creep on your Facebook profile page. So guess what? Your messaging has to be really on target. You have to know your niche, because when people go to your personal, that's why we do personal profile audits. If all they see are memes, that's it, or quotes. If that's all you do on Facebook, you're screwed, right? Because what if I walked into this conference and all I did as a panelist was quote people? I didn't say anything else. All I did was quote after quote. Someone asked me a question and I quote them. Well, that would be novel, but then pretty soon people are gonna be like, this guy doesn't know anything on his own. You know what I'm saying? Are you with me? Tell me if you're with me still. Does that make sense? But they're going to start. This is what happens between executives and coaches. People see what I'm writing. They see my content and they're like, he does get me. And then I start demonstrating value like I'm demonstrating for you right now. I'm just doing it on my group, not in my personal page. I'm demonstrating value. If this doesn't build trust for you, and I've had people like, someone emailed me back today and was like, hey man, I asked you to put me in your group, but you didn't. What's your problem? I forgot. But I'm going to give away the best free content in the world. And then this person's going to be a dick to me. I don't ever want to work with that person. So I just deleted them from my email list and I blocked them on Facebook. Like, I've had many encounters with this person. So like, but like, why would I? I'm not hurting. My coaching business is thriving and I get to pick who I want to work with. And I don't want that person in this group messing your mindset up. Does that make sense? You can do personal and a business. What do you mean personal and a business personal? Your personal profile page is the one you're logged on to right now in this, right? Your business personal, just have one page. Here's what happens if you have two Facebook pages and you call them both personal. It's a mindset issue because you're afraid. I'm not saying this is you, Lorraine, but this is what people are like, well, I want to keep my friends and my family out of my business. It's not going to work because as soon as someone realizes you have two pages, they're going to be like, what are they ashamed of? That having one page makes you real. I'll take you to my Facebook page as soon as we're done and you'll see I'm a dad, I'm a boyfriend, I'm a coach, I'm all the things I say I am, and I'm a real person and you can touch me. I don't have, like, this is me. If you look at my profile picture, it's me, right? This is how it works. So some people start their page all over, and I don't think it's a good idea, but they delete their old one, they start a new account, and they start over, and I get it. If that helps them get past the mental barrier, here's what it is. People are like, what if I fail? I get it. It's fear. I get it. I get it. It's all the things that keep people from actually growing their coaching business. It's mindset. Okay. It's a great question, Lorraine. So are you all with me? Does it make sense? Can you move two pages into one if you've already set up two different ones? If they're both personal, I don't know. I would just pick one and go for it. Here's what happens, folks. When you're in the groups, okay, when you're doing the work in the groups, you're adding people every day. I've added like a couple hundred people in the last few days as a friend. Just add them. It's my platform, right? And now they know everything that's going on. How many people are in this group because they saw me post on my personal page that I was going to do this training, and they said, oh, I want in because they're my friends, and I don't know them well, but they're still my friend. Art, what's going on, brother? But they're still my friend. So now they see everything I'm doing. And then they say, oh, yeah, I want to get into your group to do this training, right? So that's awesome, right? And I want to keep this the safest place ever for you and for me. So they're going to follow your personal profile. Why? Because you care and you demonstrate that you care. They read your stuff and they go, it resonates with me. I think I can help them. All right, let's move on. Then what do we get into? We get into conversation and questions. Where do you think that happens? Dano, catch the replay, brother. Where do you think that private conversations happen? Where you're asking questions? Yes, sir. Nick, you totally win. Messenger. And I'm going to tell you how you do this wrong, right? These are conversations, questions you're asking, really good questions, and you demonstrate and you build trust. And you're just going to say, thank you for connecting. I really like what you said about X, Y, and Z on that comment. Why? Because you really like what they said about it. Because you care. You care. You want what's best for them. Tell me something. Like you said, you were having a problem. How long has that been going on? Oh, it's been going on probably my whole life. Really? Yeah. What have you tried to overcome it? I tried a therapist. I tried. We went on a retreat, a couples retreat once. We tried a couple other things. Okay. And did any of them work? Sort of, but we never really got to the root of it. Oh, what do you think the root of it is? I don't know. Oh, well, that sounds like it sucks. It does suck. You're asking questions. And then if you can help them, and remember, up here, same principles apply. You resonate. You're a leader. And your message is on point. And then here, sorry. That's right here. No, I didn't want that to happen. Let's do that again. stick with me, folks. You resonate because you're a leader, okay? And then here in Messenger, you ask really good questions. You demonstrate you're a leader. You've already done some of that on your personal page. And you build trust. Why? Because you care. And you're like, yeah, Lorraine, I get that. Yeah. I just don't, it's not for me. I don't condone it because I know that, like, okay, so they've got 2 personal profiles. First of all, Facebook can shut either one of those down as soon as they want to because you're not allowed to have 2. So that's the biggest problem. The second biggest problem to me is it's like, well, what are you hiding? Like, have a business page and have your personal page. What 2 says is that you aren't who you say you are, even if it's for privacy, and I get it. It still says, I'm not who I say I am. And that's fine, but it makes it, and it's fine, Lorraine, it really is fine. It just makes it way more difficult to help people and for them to trust you. And then if the best long-term help for them is for them to pay you to coach them, it just puts all kinds of barriers up. This is my experience. It's just the way it is. I know it. It can be done the other way. It just takes a lot longer. And so you're going to have those messenger conversations with people. Lori, great. Yeah, but this is, remember, this is just natural. You're just having a natural conversation all the way. This is why if you add a friend from a group and you send them a message immediately saying, hey, have you ever thought of investing in Bitcoin? I could help you do that. It's creepy because it's not natural and you don't care. You don't care about them. You just want to make money off of them through Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? I have people come into this group all the time. They don't know that I'm the administrator, or they don't know it's my group. And they say, hey, Bradley, thanks for connecting. And I say, hey, you're welcome. And they say, what do you do? It's the first sign I know they don't know what they're doing. And that's because I'm wearing a sign on my personal profile page that says Fortune 100, 500 executive coach and coach launcher. Like, do some work. Do you know what I mean? So I'm a coach. Oh, cool. Have you ever thought of using, and then you put out whatever, you know, Twitter or YouTube to grow? Have you ever thought of using Facebook ads to grow? Let me guess, you do Facebook ads and you want to sell me. Okay. Same thing with Instagram. This is the worst place is LinkedIn, where people just send you just junk in your email and your messenger in LinkedIn. It will work there. You'll stand out because you're doing it differently, but LinkedIn's the worst place. They'll add you right to their email list right from there. I would never add you to my email list from this group because you haven't double opted in. I haven't asked your permission. Why would I do that? That's not fair. Are you with me? Let me know if you guys are still with me, because at some point, after asking questions, you're going to realize you need to talk to them. If you're going to get a result and find out if you can really help them, you got to go deep. And you need that personal connection, right? You need that personal and private connection. So you're going to get on the phone or webcam. Let's do it like this. Video. And notice what happens. Fewer and fewer people are coming down this funnel, and that's okay because you don't have time to help everyone. But there are people that you can help. So you get on the phone with, and you just say, hey, I'm going to tell you exactly what to say. I'm going to tell you exactly what I say because it's natural for me. Wow. I might be able to help you with that. I think the best thing would be for us to get on a short phone call. I'm going to ask you some questions. I want to find out what's going on. And if I can help you, I'll let you know. if I can help you long term. If not, then I'll let you know that too. That's just honest. That's just very natural. And they can say no. And people say no. People don't respond to you in Messenger. People don't respond when you add them as friends, but some will. Some of these people will. Some of these people, you resonate with them. You've done the work. You're a great coach. And so they want in. And by the time you get on the phone with them, they're like, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. And that's accurate because you're putting in the effort and the time because you care and you want what's best for them. And even then on the phone, what do you want to do? You want to figure out. But deep dive questions, if you can help them and what the percentage is. This is deep. Ask anyone who's been on the phone with me. They'll tell you. There are people in this group and clients that I have. People in this group who aren't clients, they'll tell you. Okay? It's deep. Can you help them? You're going to ask questions and just determine, can you help them and what percentage, right? Now, here's what it is. People will say, okay, Monica brings up a great point. Monica says, I need to do more work in groups. I've been building up my friends list, but I can zero in more on the people I can help if I engage them in groups. Yes, so here's what we know now, okay? This is the best part, right? The best part of knowing how to help people is you can tell where you're stuck. When I have a conversation with a client and they're like, yeah, this isn't working. And I'll ask them, are you posting in groups? And are you actually helping people? Or are you just trying to demonstrate that you know more than everybody else? So I want to know, are you posting in groups? Because if you're not, then you're going to run out of people to resonate with. That's all there is to it. Oh, you know what? I'm not posting in groups. I know you're not. Because if you haven't added any more friends, it just won't work. And then I'm going to ask them, if they say, yeah, I'm posting in groups, I'm like, okay, let's look at your personal profile page. Are you adding friends? And are you demonstrating your leadership on your profile? I'm posting in groups, but I'm not adding any friends because I don't want to have a whole lot of friends. Well, then you can't do this. It's not natural to meet people and then never make friends. It's weird. And then you're going to, let's say they're posting in groups. Let's say they're adding friends and they're demonstrating that they know what they're talking about and that they're a leader on their personal page and they're done their work and it resonates. And then I'm going to say, well, are you getting into Messenger? Are you saying, hey, thanks for connecting? What was it that made you like that post? What was it that made you respond? My kind of people, Kyle. That's right, MKP. Right? Are you asking those questions that you need to ask in Messenger? So whenever a client says to me, yeah, but I'm posting in groups, I'm adding friends, I'm posting call to actions on my personal profile, like, hey, click here to schedule a call with me, but nobody is. Okay, well then, because in their head, they're afraid. The limiting beliefs that led them to the terrible place they are in their life right now, or the unsatisfied place they are in their life, those same limiting beliefs that led them to need your help are the same ones that are going to try to keep them from getting it from you. And you've got to do the work to remove those obstacles, which means you've got to go to them and you've got to say, hey, thanks for connecting. Hey, thank you for connecting. You're welcome. Hey, what was it about that post? You said, all the hearts, you're so right. What did you mean? Oh, well, you made the post about the relationship and I've just began to notice that my relationship is breaking down X, Y, Z. And then you start those questions. All right. It's very natural. It's like if you were at the conference and you met people and you were up on the panel and then you're talking to them on the side. This is us, right? Talking them on the side of the wall. And then you say, okay, let's get on the phone. So if you're not in Messenger, it's going to stop there completely. And then you've got to ask yourself, when you're on the phone, are you letting people off the hook? The new high quality people that are friending me now are almost all the result of me posting and commenting in groups. It is true, but occasionally I get a guy masquerading as Tiffany who wants to know where I live. block that guy. Or yeah, I'm so glad we met, man. I'm so glad we met, and I'm so glad that we're working together because that is hilarious. Yeah, probably. Thanks for listening. Then either that person didn't, Megan. Either you didn't quick enough say, "Hey, I might be able to help you with that," or, and let's get on the phone. There could be lots of reasons. Bring it on. We can talk about it. So, or you're not asking good enough questions or the right questions, usually after someone vomits off like 3 pages of, oh, he did this and then he did that, and then he did this and then he did that, and then he did this and then he did that, and I can't, and I deserve better. That's 2 people breaking up, whatever. After that, there aren't many questions left because they've told you everything, and you need to talk to them, and you've got to take the leadership. Taking leadership is so important. When someone is in crisis mode and they're going all over the place and they're emotionally bouncing off the walls, they need a leader that cares about them to help them through it, right? I know I did when I went through bankruptcy, divorce, getting laid off, foreclosure. Like, I needed help. I needed a leader. I needed someone to help me manage all of that stuff. And I came through. And I'm here now. Okay. This is what you want to do for other people. And then when you're on the phone, if you are afraid to tell them how much it costs to work with you, if you're afraid to tell them you can help them, then you're getting stuck on the phone. But if you do all of these things, you can't just do one. You can't just post in groups. You can't just add friends. You can't just post on your personal profile and not message. You can't post on your personal profile and message and not post in groups and add people. And you can't do all of that and not get them on the phone. And then you can't let them off the hook when they're on the phone. By off the hook, all I mean is they've made all these limiting belief decisions to get to where they're at. And so the limiting beliefs that they built up is what's going to keep them from working with you. And it's your job to ask them the right questions and then help them work through those limiting beliefs. And it's not all about, they don't all revolve around money. You're going to have a hard time getting somebody who, if you're a relationship coach and they're afraid of losing their relationship, you're going to have to work them through that so that they feel like with your help, it will be okay. You show them how. Lori, what does it look like not letting off the hook? It means that when they say it's just terrible and it sucks, it means that you don't go, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Trust me, it'll be okay. Don't worry about it. Forget about it. Because it won't be okay. If they don't deal with the problem, it won't be okay. And for us to tell them it'll be okay, or if we coach them for a few minutes to make them feel better, it's like a heroin addict. And I mean this. What a heroin addict needs to do is check into a 90-day rehab center and change their environment, change the people they're hanging around, change what they're putting into their body, change what they're putting into their mind, change the way they see the world, change the way they relate with themselves, change the way they relate to everybody else. And you can't do that in 5 minutes on the phone. You do that over a 3-month program, a 2-month program, or at the very least, give 4 to 6 weeks. Because what a heroin addict will do, if they don't get in the 90-day program, the heroin addict is going to feel a little bit better because you tell them, you know what, let's talk on the phone all night tonight until we fall asleep. And then you won't go out and buy heroin. But you know what they're going to do tomorrow morning, and they'll feel better. They'll feel better because you're talking to them. But what are they going to do in the morning? They're going to wake up and go get heroin. Does that analogy make sense? You can't let people off the hook because it's not. Does anybody know what I'm going to say right now? You can't let people get off the hook because it's not what's best for them. And it's not very caring to do that. And I get it. When I first started doing phone calls, I was doing everything I possibly could to either like, oh, I'll be best buddies with them, or like I'll connect and relate to them so that they'll want to work with me, or I'll coach them so well on the first call that there's no way they can't not work with me, or I'll give them 3 free weeks and then they'll realize they have to work with me for a year, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Sometimes, on the rare occasion, barely, it will work. But you can't build a coaching business that way, and it's not what's best for people. It's not caring. And you got to do all these things at the same time. Has this been helpful for you? Sorry, I muted my mic to cough because you don't want to hear that. I've got a few more minutes that we can do some Q&A because I know you got questions about this. We've got 11 people in the group. We got about 20 people between Zoom and Facebook. Yeah, Lori, we're going to get to the packages conversation, but here's what I'm going to just tell you right now. What is the biggest difference in your coaching? It's you. Yeah. Listen, why is my executive program is anywhere from 6 weeks to 90 days, 6 weeks to 3 months. That's what my executive is, depending on the need. That's why I got to talk to people. My coaching program, 9 times out of 10, it's the 3-month package. But if it was 6 months, it wouldn't make a difference. It's just the time. Like, yeah, you want to do it right. We're going to talk about that. We'll get into all of that. And Lori, I'll help you develop a package, but it won't matter if you don't see that you're the biggest difference and that the package doesn't really matter at the end of the day. We'll talk about pricing. It's important because you've got to have confidence in what you're telling people you're worth. And if you don't believe it, you won't be able to bring them on. Jeff says, what do you do if you work a job that has you use your Facebook page and you are looking to transition to full-time coaching? Your job cannot require you to use your Facebook page. And if they do, I bet you could talk to somebody in HR about that. However, to Lorraine's point, that might be the time where you start your own personal page. Another personal page, I guess. If you had to, Jeff. Or if you're afraid that they're going to see, that your job's going to see that you've got a part-time business, it better be in your contract that you can't have a business on the side, or they can't and you're like, they could. There are absolutely ways. This is very natural, right? You don't just, hey, everybody, I'm a coach, unless you want to, right? But you could like, Jeff, what kind of coaching do you want to do? What kind of coaching you want to do, Jeff? And do they let you, Jeff, you're in Zoom. Let's bring you on. Is this making sense to everybody? Does this make sense to all of you? Jeff, are you cool with coming on? Just have a real quick conversation about that. Morgan, I'm not sure what you mean. Is there a way to not let someone off the hook once you've already had the first/second phone call? It depends. Nick, good to see you, brother. Always. Thanks for being here. Okay, Jeff, no worries. So we can dive into that. We can dive into that at some point. But yeah, here's what I always have to figure out with people. Is this a mindset issue? And people will always tell you, no, it's not mindset, it's mine. And so there's questions I need to ask to get to that, right? I would do the same thing. I do the same thing with my coaches. My coaches will be like, hey, it sounds like a mindset issue. I'm like, no, it's not a mindset issue. I really need to do this. I really think and then they ask me questions and I'm like, you're right. It's a total mindset issue. Transformational coaching focus. So you might say, I help men live better lives. instead of saying I'm a coach. If for some reason your boss said you better not have a part-time job. But remember, you're doing all this for free on your personal page. You're not getting paid for it. That's why Facebook can't shut you down, because you're not running your business from your personal page. All that's free. You're running your business from the phone and from Zoom and from Stripe or PayPal or whatever. But everything, all the content you're putting out there, it's all free, right? No one pays me via Facebook. No one's going to pay you. So you can just say, I help men live better lives or higher quality lives. And you can put all the stuff you want to, giving out, free value. Well, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's free value to help people. Morgan, is there a way to not let someone off the hook once you've already, I don't know, if you've let somebody off the hook, you just kind of have to go with it at that point, really. Then it's up to them, right? If they come back for a second call, that's why it's so important. The questions that I ask and the questions on the phone call that I have my clients ask, and it takes some coaching, because you have to be okay with saying, what is it going to cost you not to get this fixed? Because if you don't get that person to realize that their heroin addiction is going to cost them their life and the quality of life of everyone around them, you're not doing them any favors. So you ask them, and they're like, it's going to cost me everything. And then you know that. How are you going to help them? Listen, Jeff, you can do it from Instagram. You don't need to switch, especially if you have a following there. I'm just using Facebook because it's a platform we're on. I literally do this at church. I do it at a coffee shop. I do it in Ubers. I do it on Facebook. I use Twitter. I started out using my blog. It's just the blog is the slowest way in the world. Website's the second slowest way in the world. Are there things to not talk about on your personal profile when doing coaching? Like what? Give me an example of that, Matt. Art says, I'll come right back to you, Matt. Art says, I came in late. Someone wants to connect with me and they are legit, but they are not friending because I'm a coach. So how and when or if do I send them a Facebook message about coaching opportunity, not come across as an opportunist creep? There are enough of those. I guess I just need to use common sense on that. Facebook as a marketing platform. Yeah, okay, Art. So if they're not accepting your friend request, but they've asked for help, like on a comment, they're like, hey, yeah, message me, but they won't accept your friend request, that's okay. Just shoot them the message. But if they haven't said, reach out to me, then don't shoot them a message. And if they haven't accepted then just move. There are so many hundreds of thousands of people that need help. We just move on. That's it. But if you're still active in a group, they'll catch on. I knew a day after I got off the phone that the question I didn't ask cost me. Yeah, that's true. Same as Jeff, work should not know. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like my job knew that I was a coach. There's nothing they could do about it. It's my life. It's my business. There's no contract that said I couldn't do that. And I had my boss said, hey, don't you think that having this coaching business and might conflict with work? I'm like, well, no, why would it? I'm not doing it at work. Did you think I was doing it at work? No, but in your free time. And I'm like, dude, free time is literally my free time, and you don't get to say. And he was like, oh, no, I wasn't trying to tell you what you could or couldn't do when you're not here. And I said, okay, good. I didn't think you would. And that was that. And then he started referring me clients. So, Paul, okay, here you go. Great question, Matt. Are there things to not talk about on your personal profile when doing coaching, politics or justice stuff? Depends, Matt. It depends. Okay. Art and I had this conversation, right? I go for my kind of people, and I'm a pretty progressive, open-minded individual. Someone does not have to line up with me politically for me to coach them. In fact, a lot of my clients are all over the place. They're all over the place. Extreme conservative to the most radical liberal. Radical is the wrong term to use, and my apologies. The most liberal, and anywhere in between, libertarians, whatever. I've coached Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, like that doesn't matter to me. So, but I don't talk about that stuff. Not often. I don't talk about religion. I'll talk about spirituality. I don't talk about religion often. But you can. You can. Here's what it means. It means there is just a certain population that will never even consider adding you as a friend or working with you ever. And if you're okay with that, be okay with it. Your kind of people will show up. Does that make sense, Matt? Does that make sense? So, for example, like if you're building a public platform, you know, one of my best friends. No, that's a conversation we'd have to have, Matt. I wouldn't necessarily suggest that. I mean, you can still talk about those things. It just means that the clients you have are going to be clients who are also passionate about social justice. They're also passionate about politics. And hey, there's a lot of people passionate about politics. And so half of them are going to be into you and the other half are going to hate you. That's all that means, right? So I don't, but you could. Like, I'm passionate about those things, so I vote. I'm passionate about those things, so I give money where I want to give money, and to social justice and justice causes that I want to give money to. I'm passionate about those things, so I will share links for other people to help stop human trafficking, right? And it also depends on what it is. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna say like, oh, this politician is a total moron and idiot and deserves to die, well, that's one thing. But if you eloquently say, I totally support this person and here's why, and you can have a civil conversation, then that's something totally different. And it really does depend on where you come from. I am of the belief that what we need more of in the world is dialogue. And it doesn't matter what politician from either of the sides is doing. I want to have conversations with people who don't agree with me, and I want to have them civilly, and I want to understand, and I want them to understand me, and I want to see if we can sit down and we can like share a meal together. So that's why I just don't really touch any of it, because I have never found one person who's ever been convinced to believe something different when it comes to politics or religion because of a post on Facebook. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't. You can support it. I just don't think it happens often. But I need to go. Shoot me a message. Shoot me a message in Messenger, Matt. I would love to look at your profile and see what you're talking about. And I won't do it in the group, right? I'll just do that one-on-one. I'll just look at it and say hi. And then I'll give you an answer in Messenger as well. And if you want to, maybe we'll be able to jump on one of these at some point and work through it. Does that sound good? And if you're not okay with that, that's okay too. I hope politics and religion and justice, they're very touchy. So I hope anything I've said, you didn't take offense to, right? I did not mean any offense at all. That's a great question though, Matt. It's a great question. Kyle, people are just people outside of politics, religion, ethnicity doesn't mean that someone on the opposite side can't help them. Absolutely true. Okay, beautiful, Matt. Awesome. All right. Any other questions? It's a great question that you had. Art Morgan, great question. Matt, great question. Lorraine's great question. Dalmon, I wish I had let work colleagues know I was a coach before I left full-time work. I missed huge networking opportunities because I was afraid what work would say. Okay, I hear that. I understand that, Dawn, and I would just encourage you to see that you have a network of hundreds of thousands of people right here on Facebook, and take that wish and turn all that energy into making it happen right now, right here. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you got all the never in the history of the world has it been more, have we had the capability to connect with each other and help each other. And, you know, it used to be like, You had to take your family's entire fortune and build a factory and produce a product. And if it didn't work, you lost everything. Now you can invest for at most a few $1,000s and launch a business and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now it's not easy and you need help and there's a lot of ins and outs, but it's never been a better time in the history of history to do this. And here we are, and we're all breathing at least for another few moments. So let's do it. Ann says, most marketing gurus say that because you don't have control over social media platforms to get direct connection to your people by getting their email address. Do you do it? Yeah, I have an email. I have an email account, and I use ActiveCampaign to do my emails. I have some email sequences, but I didn't I didn't have it when I started, and I got to full-time without it. Does that make sense, Ann? They're right. You do want to eventually get your people, but let's use the natural marketing method funnel, right? Listen, first of all, and if they're on social media, they're engaging with you, they're already a part of your tribe, right? Don't look at it like, well, they're not really part of my tribe yet, right? Like I still don't use email as much as I could. I'll probably focus on that, but my coaching business is thriving and I'm not doing it. Now, should you? Yeah, I do it, but I just sent out an email this morning saying, hey, there's only 3 days left. To be honest with you, I haven't sent out an email for like 35 days. Now, some people and some of my friends and colleagues are like, dude, you're stupid. And they're probably right. But I just haven't done it. I know how to do it. I've got brilliant sequences. But if you see my webinar, you're going to get like 8 automated emails. And they're full of value. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. And hey, let's have a conversation. Let's get on the phone. My webinar is for free. And in my webinar, the one thing people say most is that I connected with them and that I actually gave them useful information as opposed to talk the whole time and then try to sell something, because I don't have anything for sale on my webinar. Don says, if I'm getting little engagement on Facebook, should I review my content and niche? Yes. And then you should also see if you're posting in groups and engaging in groups. And then are you adding people? And then are you having conversations in Messenger? You know, it could be so many things, right? And with a client, like I have to look at all their stuff and ask them questions and find out where they're getting stuck. But usually I can figure it out pretty quickly. But then we get stuck in another place. It's why I have coaches. It's why my clients have me as their coach. It takes a few sets of eyes. Best way to naturally make that transition would be simple. Here's what I would do. Okay, I'll tell you what I would do. Yeah, here's what I would do. And in fact, I'll do this on Friday. How's that sound? I'll literally do it for you. I'll do it in my group for you. Hey, I'm going to be sharing a PDF with my email list that tells you exactly what the exact questions I ask when I'm in Messenger conversation. If you'd like it, let me know, or here's a link to sign up for it, and you'll be joining my email list. That way, if anything ever happens on Facebook, we can stay in touch. And then everybody in this group, if they're not already on my email list, has the opportunity to get on my email list, and I'm giving them something of value in return. Does that make sense, Ann? Deno came back. What's up? Am I pronouncing your name right? And it's very natural, right? Here's the thing about this natural enrollment method. Natural enrollment. It's all just natural. You don't have to feel icky. You don't have to feel markety. There's nothing wrong with marketing. There's nothing wrong with sales. I market my daughters all the time. I'm trying to create a culture in our house of deep love and connection. And so I have signs up all over this house and paintings up all over this house about love and integrity and relationship and communication. You know what that is? That's marketing. You know what I'm selling? Deep connection. They're not dirty words, okay? But people abuse marketing and sales, and I get it. So, but this just makes sense. This is a natural enrollment method. Don says, yes, I'm doing that. I'll get more eyes. Okay. All right, Don, do that. Any other questions before I go? That is decaf coffee because I want to sleep tonight. We are buying tiny doll houses tonight in my household. My girlfriend's coming over. I've got a client calls tonight from 7 to like 8. Gonna show up, be me, care about my clients, do what's best for them, help them. Then I'm going to buy tiny doll houses with my daughters. Clay bowls last weekend. Beautiful, Jeff. Any other questions? Any other questions? My daughters and my girlfriend, they like tiny little things, like tiny little bookshelves. And my daughter made a tiny little toilet roll roll. They just like tiny things. I don't know. Me, I like big things, but I'm a dude. So give me the big roll of toilet paper. All right, this is going on. Deno says, what's the name of the book, best book ever that you're giving away for us to purchase? Deno, since you showed up, where do you live, Deno? I mean, I'm not asking your address. I mean, like, what part of the world do you live in? Wagga Wagga, NSW. Australia. All right. I've got a couple friends in Australia. Cameron Gallagher, who I know is from Australia. He's living in Bali right now. He is one of the best mindset coaches out there. I will shoot you a digital copy on Kindle. But I'm not going to reveal the name of the book. I will at the end of this week. I will. I'm just trying to pique your interest. It is, trust me, the author of this book. It's one of the best books for brand new business owners. And so, Dano, this is awkward, but I'm going to be like, hey, man, remind me. Let's just put it on my calendar right now. Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll put it on tomorrow. Let's get out of this. That's why I love this. This is something else I use with my daily planner. I've given it away here. I share it with my clients. I use it every day. Buy Dano book. Boom. There you go. Matt says low-key book announcement, right? Kyle, I know, and I'm not telling him. I'm stoked to get it. That's right. Can we get your planner? And you can get my planner. In fact, I'll give it to you this week, but it's in this group already somewhere. Now that Mark Hawkins said, hey, man, turn this into a social group. And so I did. So I will drop it in there as well. In fact, I'll just shoot it to you, Ann. I'll shoot it to you along with a video I made explaining how to use it. And little planner. Got it. All right. How do I identify the right moment to bring up the coaching help? It's natural. It just happens. You're asking these questions, Jose. You're asking these questions. You're trying to find out more, and then you're like, I might be able to help you. You don't even have to say you're a coach. You don't have to introduce yourself as a coach. You say, I might be able to help you. Let's get on a short phone call. And if I can help you long term, I'll let you know. If I can't, I'll at least give you next steps for where you're at. Does that make sense, Jose? Can you post the planner link, please? Yes, I can. I can do that for shizzle. I use it every day. Yeah, I developed it for myself and for my Fortune execs so that they can do everything. Everybody has the same amount of time in a day. By the end of this, I'll do it on the day. I'm going to show you my calendar. I'm going to show you this week's schedule. You are going to see that it is packed. But I took a nap today. I took a 30-minute nap today. I had more than one strategy session. I had more than one client call. I've done this. I'm going to do more client calls tonight. And I took a nap. It's like it's brilliant. All right, you're all awesome. And I'm going to go eat dinner with my daughters. One, because I like my daughters, and two, I like food. If you have questions, post them in the group. We'll be going on tomorrow for real. Tomorrow, what are we talking about? I literally follow that planner so well that sometimes I don't even look at my next day until I wake up and I just do what it says. Tomorrow, we're doing sales calls. Okay. Also, I've prepped for all of this stuff already. So it's not like I'm scrambling to get this done. It's all on my planner. It all gets into my calendar. So I do it. That's what successful people do. But we're going to talk about sales. On Friday, we're going to talk about how you deliver your results. How do you fulfill for your clients? We're going to talk about, we may go into Saturday if you guys want to go into Saturday morning or something, or Saturday afternoon. I want to talk about your personal finances. Most coaches screw this up. I'm talking about your personal finances. I want to talk about your priorities. I want to talk about your business finances and how to keep that all together so that you're growing and you can take that money, reinvest it back in your business so you can blow your business up. I have spent over $60,000 in the last 12 months, $60,000 in the last 12 months on coaching. And I have totally got a return on my investment, not just financially, but yeah, financially, big time. Also, emotionally, relationally, health-wise. And so if you don't structure your finances right, you won't be able to reinvest in your business. If you start bringing on clients and you start going on vacation all the time, those people are idiots. You want to be able to build something that lasts a lifetime so that you can stop doing something someday and go on vacation for however long you want. And then when you want to, you work. You know what I mean? Richard, good to see you here, man. Let's talk soon. Kyle, keep it real. Enjoy the family. Will do. See you tomorrow, Lori. All right. Jose, very grateful. Thank you, man. All right, listen, you guys are all awesome. That's a wrap. That's 2 hours. That's a long video. So we will post it. All right. You're all fantastic, and I will talk with you later. Thank you. Thank you for showing up and for being here and for interacting. That's awesome.